Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know it's been a while since I've posted, but best believe you're going to be getting some more videos and some more vlogs and yeah, all of that, all the things to do with economics, finance, accounting. Just wait up, they're coming. So this video is going to be more of like a sit down and chat. I've got my non-alcoholic wine here, drink or whatever. So I just want to talk about like where I've been, how I found my new role, because I think let me just start with a bit of a background. So I have a degree in economics and a master's in finance and econometrics, and when my first job was as a graduate economist and for an engineering company, I was there for a year and a half. Then I decided, actually, this is not really for me. I want a lot of finance. If I want to understand financial markets, I want to understand financial assets, I want to do financial modeling. I want finance. That's what I enjoy. Like, I love economics, but I also want like finance, and that role wasn't giving me that. So I decided to look for other roles. This was during 2020 pandemic, and I found one. So I found a role as I think it was as a funding graduate. So it was another graduate role. So, and that was based in Hertfordshire. So I was there for about 8 months, and then I got another opportunity that paid a lot more money, and it was in London, which is where all my friends and family are, and that's where I'm from. So definitely was a great opportunity. I took it. It was a similar role, more involved in treasury. So the role was actually a treasury analyst role. Did that role for about 5 months. Yeah, I left it because, and I'm going to get into that in this video, I left the role just because it wasn't for me. Not because I enjoyed the job duties, but the culture, the team just wasn't me. Then I started looking for a new role, and a recruiter approached me for a secured funding analyst role within the treasury team, and I took that role. So this is where I've been for about 6 months now, and I see myself staying here a long time. And yeah, so that's a bit of a background. So what do I think? Am I happy with the move from coming to from economics to finance? Definitely yes. Again, I'm in a role where I'm understanding financial markets, financial assets. I'm looking at mortgages, understanding interest rates, how it affects mortgages. I'm understanding the financial climate, hedging, swaps, like leverage, securitization. These are things that I just love, and I'm loving it. There's always something to learn, and I'm doing a lot more spreadsheet work, a lot more financial modeling. Again, with this role, I remember in my video on working as an economic analyst, and I'm telling you that yeah, it's really good. I learned this function in Excel. I'm even learning more functions in Excel, and I'm understanding how to build a model. The company I work for is a specialist lender, non-bank lender. Like, just seeing my growth from the beginning of the job until now, it's just amazing. Another thing I love about this role, my manager is not, she's not shy to, she doesn't hide knowledge. Like, I'm comfortable to ask, like I feel comfortable asking her questions. I could be on a call with her for 2-3 hours, and she's literally showing things, explaining things, and she allows me to record the sessions. In my previous role, that did not happen. Like, I could tell like the manager was very lazy. I asked him questions. You can tell that it would be like his response would be like, "Oh, I've explained that before," or if I've explained that, why didn't you tell me then that you didn't understand it, or what don't you understand? Like, I felt like I was being bullied. Honestly, that is the word I will use. It was just very toxic, and it just stopped me. It really affected my confidence. I didn't feel confident in myself. I didn't feel like worthy. I'm thinking, oh, I'm so silly, I'm so dumb. And he said things like, you have a master's, you're a smart woman. I expected more, and it was literally horrible. And it just brought me back to understand why some people don't like the 9 to 5, and which is understandable. Like, if that was my life, and if every manager was like that manager, I don't think I want to work in a 9 to 5 role. Do you understand what I'm saying? But I'm here to tell you there's hope, definitely. Keep believing in yourself. Anywhere you go, learn from them. Learn from, even if you have a horrible manager, learn from him or her. Learn from them. Take something with you. Take that experience. You need to focus on the end goal. So having a plan, focus on the end goal. That's all that should be on your mind. But at the same time, do not tolerate rubbish. If you feel like you're being bullied or you don't feel part of the team, it will affect your performance, it will affect your work ethic. Like the way I felt in that role, I felt like I was always making mistakes. I was so self-conscious, and I'll be slower at performing tasks because I'm doubting myself. I overthink simple things, which makes me make more mistakes. That's what I found in that role. But in this role, I'm like, I don't second guess myself. I'm quicker at doing things. I'm open to asking questions. It's such a different environment. Everyone is super friendly, and it's hard. You don't normally get it's crazy because you don't normally get that in a finance, a fast-paced finance role. It is very rare. But honestly, like, it's not like anyone's backstabbing anyone. Everyone helps each other, and the way the manager operates, she really wants everyone to work together. So if someone can't do something, ask that person for help, like help each other. Whereas my previous manager, if I was stuck on something, I'll ask the treasury analyst, one of my colleagues, she's on the same level as me, a treasury analyst, and he will tell me, oh, why did you ask her? What don't you understand? Or if you have a question, put in a group chat. Don't be asking her personally. It was madness. It was absolute madness. And it just, I don't want to go too like deep into it, because then I'm going to be talking about race and all of these things. But it does come into play. I feel like diversity is very, very important in a team. I feel like people, there should be some degree where, I know you're going to meet people who are different from you, but you also want to meet people, because I've met people who are different from me, but I could really relate to them and they're really friendly. But in my previous job, that wasn't the case. Mind you, the treasury analyst and my boss, they were very close. They would joke around, they'll have banter and all of that, but I wouldn't be involved in the banter. I just feel like, with me, I don't force things. If it's there and we're getting along well, the vibe is there, then of course, why not? But me personally, I just don't force things. So yeah, let me continue. Like, where am I at now? What's my head at now? What are the plans for the future? What have I learned from this? Honestly, I just feel like life is a whole learning experience. Do not let anyone knock your confidence down. Well, you should be prepared that you're going to meet people that are not nice. Every manager has different expectations. You could be trying your absolute best and it's not enough for someone. And you could be trying your absolute best with a different manager and you're doing amazingly well. You're excelling in the role. So everything is different. So be prepared for that. And that's what it taught me, that, you need to go through some of these experiences. Being the person that I am, after that horrible role with that horrible manager, I sat down and I thought, okay, I'm starting a new role. I know that I did some self-reflection, and obviously I'm not perfect. I make mistakes, but at the same time, it was not a good environment, and that manager was not. I don't think that person was fit to be a manager. So I did some self-reflection. I got my notebook out, and I just wrote down things like, what am I going to do better in my new role? What are mistakes that I made in my previous role? What are things that I didn't look out for? So specific things was like, make sure you, one thing I've learned, make sure you own your task. When you're given a task, make sure you own it. What I mean by that is that just don't do the task to, like, you can have objectives. Your manager's giving you the spreadsheet and he or she says, oh, can you analyze this data and produce a chart? So, and then, you've analyzed the data, you produce a chart, and then she starts asking you questions. Oh, what does that mean? Or what does that chart tell us about, the future of the company? Or what does that chart tell us about the money? Are we going to run out of money? And all of a sudden you find yourself stuck, not knowing how to answer that question. because that's because you've done the task, which is good, but you haven't taken it in, you haven't owned it. So what I mean by owning the task is that you do the work, but understand, what are you doing? What do people want to know? What do you think, what's the point of this exercise? What have you taken out? What does it mean for the company, or what does it mean for your team, or what does it mean for that product that I'm just giving examples. One of the things that I learned from that horrible job, as in, as a way for me to reflect and move forward. Another thing that I learned was I really learned to take my own initiative. So like, I've always thought I'm always taking my initiative, but guys, there's level to this. You could be taking your initiative, but it's not only until when you get more experience, you start understanding what does it really mean to take initiative. And that is literally what I started to learn. So taking initiative to me is not only working on doing your task well, but what can I do to improve the team? What process can we improve? Did I notice something went wrong? Did I remind my manager about something that needs doing? My manager's told me this, but maybe she forgot to mention something else. Raising something in a team meeting, bring my manager's attention to something, being aware of things that are happening, like the news and all other economic factors happening around the world, and trying to understand how it affects the business, your team, or the work that you do. At the end of the day, one thing I also understand is that managers, they don't know it all. They're also relying on their team to, as you rely on your manager to maybe spot certain mistakes, make things clearer to you, they're also relying on you. So that's one thing I also learned as well, that your managers rely on you. They're humans too, they make mistakes too, and that's why they have a team. If they could do it all by themselves, there'll be no need for a team. They would just be doing it by themselves, but they need their assistance, they need your help as well. And that's one thing that I've really found really important. And yeah, so that's the way I think about it. And also another thing is about making mistakes. So like, best practice with spreadsheets. And again, this is something you just learn as you get more experience. So when you're building any type of model, it might not even be building a model, you might just be summarizing something they just want to know. And the way you display it says a lot. Formatting your table is important. Making sure that there are no errors in your formula. Like you don't want to see a lot of NAs. If you use Excel, you understand what I'm saying. You don't want to see a lot of that in your formula. How can you make it look neat? How can you make it look like understandable to other people? You need to trust in your work as well. When you own your task and you take initiative, you can trust yourself. So what I mean by that is that when I did a task and my manager was asking me questions, but she was like, "Oh, Madupa, that number seems really low. That doesn't look right." And because I trust myself and I understood what I was doing, I actually said to my manager, "No, it only looks low because this happened. We haven't received these funds." And she's like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense." Whereas someone who doesn't trust themselves in that situation would be like, "Oh yeah, the number just looks low. I don't really understand," because they don't trust themselves. Having that trust in yourself is not an easy thing. Again, it's determined by what is going on around you. If you don't have a good manager, if you don't feel confident where you're working, if you don't feel confident in yourself, if you have a manager that puts you down, or you haven't got a good team, then it's really, really hard to really trust yourself and own your work and trust that what you're doing is right, and raise questions and issues. Best practice when it comes to Excel is something that I've definitely learned over these few jobs. And some managers will be lenient and be like, "Oh, there's this NA there, can you fix it?" Or like, "This model doesn't look right, or the formatting is a bit funny." And other managers will be really mad at that, saying, "Why does it look like this?" So it's just, at the end of the day, just take it, or just don't take these things seriously. We're here for good time, not a long time. And trust in yourself. you know, like you've been put in this role for a reason. You've been chosen for a reason. You're smart, you're confident, you're amazing. Do not let anybody tell you otherwise. All these people, all these managers that are making you feel low about yourself, they've been in your position. They've made mistakes themselves. So yeah, so don't feel bad. Trust in yourself. And yeah, in general, that is how I'm feeling right now. That's my update. I'm really loving my job, and I will continue to stay in this field, in the field of like treasury, capital markets. That is it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it and took something out of it. I know this is more of like a conversational video, but I hope it was still entertaining. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.